You feel like nobody could see you. It gives me everything I want. But there's nothing worse.
As long as you lost 25 pounds in the next month and your tests look good, we will move ahead.
Wait, or they gonna be burying me next. Because I don't think I could live till next year.
Okay. Now, the echocardiogram show on the fourth chamber, and she would likely need 3 skin removal surgeries for her stomach.
Number 10, Kelly Mason. Kelly appeared on My 600 Pound Life in 2019, specifically on Season 7, Episode 13. The 41-year-old is almost immobile by the time she decides to see Dr. Now. Before getting Dr. Now's help to lose weight, Kelly had been in the hospital for shortness of breath and congestive heart problems. Kelly also has medical conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, blood clots, and arthritis.
And you will try will be to get a sheet or a tarp under her to try and pull her out. Right near the foot is stuck. Okay, let me go see over there what's going on with that. Your panic is only going to make your situation worse if you start to hyperventilate.
On her episode, Kelly is 724 pounds, which is 328 kilograms when she first meets Dr. Now and faces difficulties during her weight loss journey, such as literally getting stuck in a taxi. She manages to lose a significant amount of weight, dropping to 383 pounds. She's determined to stick to the diet program and goes on to lose 220 pounds, meaning she's approved for weight loss surgery. Once she had undergone the procedure, she went on to lose another 100 pounds. Fans were rooting for Kelly the entire way, with some dubbing her one of the most hardworking people to have ever appeared on My 600 Pound Life due to putting her best efforts into losing weight.
Finished running our tests on her, and I'm even more concerned now than I originally was for her. Well, we finished running all our tests, and our biggest concern is your heart right now. So we're going to keep you here to a PT facility that will help to get your stamina up even more.
Number 9, James Bedard. James Bedard appears in Season 10, Episode 8 of the series and turns all of us into fans. The 38-year-old's goals are set particularly high, and his determination is equally solid. He is faced with immense trauma, but overcomes his challenges through sheer perseverance. But at the start of his journey, we're shown a James who's completely obsessed with calorie-laden enormous meals, which is big enough to feed an entire army. Even then, the minute he would finish his last bite, he would start dreaming of the next one going into his mouth. It's obvious to him that he must change his habit, which is when more than half the job would be done. But how did Bedard get to this point? Coming from a household where his father was largely absent, Bedard indulged in rich Caribbean meals as a child, reaching over 100 pounds by the time he was 6 years old.
The amount of stuff that you could get is just crazy, so I get excited. It's like the shit the hell. 10 minutes later, for some reason, I'm back at it again. Something in my head is telling me, it takes away all the issues. Everything just goes away whenever I have that first bite. I gotta hold the rails when I come downstairs. All right, so I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Let's make those moves.
Let's go make these moves. Afraid you gonna make me fall?
Nah, I got it.
You sure? Come on, let's go. When we finally see him after the COVID and stuff like that, we seen that he got bigger.
Bedard would go on to pursue a career in music and move to Florida, where he met a partner who would try putting the two on a diet. Bedard, despite wanting to turn his life around, wasn't able to go through with it and moved back to New York to be closer to his family. By the time he appears on the show, Bedard is weighing 625 pounds and is dealing with serious depression and health issues, so the challenge is on for Dr. Now to tackle his new patient. And how does he do that? The 38-year-old James Bedard is initially more determined than ever to go through with Dr. Now's plans, which is designed to see him lose 80 pounds within 2 months.
Yes, I am.
And who's this young lady?
That's my cousin, Cheyenne.
I'm his cousin, Cheyenne.
All right.
Now I need to get this weight off of me.
Okay. So you're 625 pounds. And what you have been?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do you think you got to this point?
Eating. Because of my weight.
So you're depressed because of your weight, and your weight is depressing you, and then you eat?
I just block myself out from the world, you know.
However, within 3 months of starting the program, Bedard's father suddenly passes away due to heart complications. The loss hangs heavy on the family, and he chooses to take time away from his rigorous exercise and diet regime to care for his mother. Dr. Now initially allows Bedard to take some time away, but starts pushing him even further, driven by serious issues about Bedard's health coming to the forefront. He goes on to lose only 20 pounds within his given time, which he's proud of despite Dr. Now's concerns. Over the course of a year, Bedard would lose an astonishing 119 pounds, making him eligible for weight loss surgery. Number 8. Christina Phillips. Christina Phillips is the incredible contestant who went from 708 pounds to less than 170 over the course of her weight loss journey at My 600 Pound Life. She begins her journey with a dismal state of affairs, being bedridden and not having left her own house in 2 years. Phillips had become completely dependent on her mother and husband, Zach, who seems to indicate on the show that he's not particularly interested in his wife's transformation since he likes his wife dependent on him.
I just worry about her so much. I got this.
Me personally, I believe it's a calling from God to take care of somebody. I have to take care of Christina in the forms of cleaning her. She even goes to the bathroom, I have to.
Despite how tough it is, she's determined to change, realizing that if she doesn't, it would cost Christina her life. Christina is able to turn her life around through sheer force of will and with no meaningful help from the two people in her life. Christina is struggling to find someone to fight in her corner and bring her the food which would turn her life around. That person is only Dr. Nazarian, who is quick to recognize Christina's family dynamic.
Who bring you the food? Who does all the cooking? And so that become your permanent job, take care of her.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Does her weight loss?
No, I don't.
I guarantee you.
Christina is advised to lose weight on her own before going through any gastric bypass surgery. She goes through Dr. Now's strict regimen, losing 267 pounds. However, she also divorces her husband, Zach, who isn't able to handle her as a more confident, independent woman. Despite the heartbreak, Christina continues on her journey, eventually going through with the surgery. She is well on her journey of weight loss by the time the show comes to a close and has continued that journey herself. Number 7. Frederick Barnes. Frederick, 32, stars on My 600 Pound Life as a housebound man who exercises when he goes outside to greet the ice cream van. So his life has become an ode to the ice cream truck with which he goes on daily rendezvous without fail. With the beginning of the show, we soon become familiar with Frederick's daily sojourns outside of his front door, but they're definitely not a part of an exercise regimen. It's the daily vigil he indulges in, all in honor of the local ice cream man who has an account on his books for Frederick.
I get for you today?
Lee, what's going on?
All right.
Let me get 3 sodas,
3 sodas.
2 strawberry shortcake,
All right.
an ice cream sandwich, 2 fudge round pies.
All right.
Appreciate you.
All right.
So that's how I start my breakfast.
He seems to be doing the community a favor by forcing Frederick to lumber outside his house on a daily basis, but it seems his efforts are doing more harm than any favors to Frederick, who seems to be indulging in his sweet tooth in the worst way possible. Starting his day by indulging his sweet tooth in a smorgasbord of ice cream might be Frederick's cup of tea, but all that it's doing to his body is making it suffer. His next treat happens to be another carb overload, but this time with savory goodies. This has been his daily routine for the last 10 years, and it's cost him his life, and now it's taken even a semblance of it away from him. Luckily, Frederick knows that his sugary indulgences have shortened his life considerably, and if he's about to live any semblance of a full life, it has to be by making some serious changes in the way he interacts with food. So how's this change of heart come about? Frederick has finally been inspired to lose weight after he had a hospital scare. So what has brought a young man like him to the sorry state, you ask? He had always struggled with his weight. His great-grandmother died when he was 5, which is where his food addiction began. The chubby child at school soon became the ideal target for kids desperate to feel superior about themselves, and bullying Frederick became their source of catharsis. This made Frederick even more focused on food, which never passed judgment on him, leading him to put on 400 pounds by the time he turned 18, and the rest is history. He's given a complete program by Dr. Now, and Thederic thinks that if it doesn't work, then nothing else will. This is his final lifeline, and Thederic is aware that failure is not an option. The day of surgery brings heartbreaking news, which nearly derails Thederic's spectacular progress. It's revealed that Thederic has a weak heart, meaning it's too risky for him to go through with the surgery, and the doctor asks him to lose more weight by himself. He goes on to lose 125 pounds, making him go down to 615 pounds in total. The impact this has had on Thederic's life is a reservation, as he's become more social and also has started going out more often.
Close. So, since you lost that weight, I'm going to approve you for weight loss surgery. Because if you don't stay on track, we won't move ahead. And we're going to do some testing on you, too. Then we're going to do some tests on him. In the meantime, if you all need anything, give me a call.
Okay.
Okay?
Number 6. Betty Jo Elmore. At the start of her journey, Betty Jo is just 26 years old, but her weight is 654 pounds. The mountainous weight she has acquired in her 26 years of life has made her body an obsolete machine without any capacity to withstand the pressures on it. Betty is unable to take care of herself, and each day brings with it a further limitation put on her capacity to function. Life has become not only a struggle, but a practice in humiliation, as she became dependent on her husband Josh to do even the most demanding of tasks, like wiping her butt after her visit to the loo. It seems that medical emergencies play a huge role in keeping us fit, since this time, when Betty ends up at a hospital, it might have been due to something as mundane as a heat stroke, but for a person of her magnitude, it could have very easily slain her. Once again, under Dr. Nazaruddin's care, her weight is immediately noted, and the fact disturbs Dr. Now that she hasn't made any progress in her weight loss journey since the surgery. She should have lost upwards of 50 pounds since her surgery, when the weighing machine is indicating that Betty's progress has become stagnant for some reason. A lengthy discussion between Dr. Now and Betty makes it clear to both of them that the type of food that she's been eating has been keeping her from losing any further weight.
Effort. I've noticed around the house, she don't need my help as much, or getting in and out of it.
Primary concern. Betty Jo is ready for surgery, but you still need to address a lot. You're making progress in your weight loss under the surgery.
Thank you.
Okay.
She realizes that her husband's emotional struggles might have sent him down another dark path. It's clear to Dr. Nazaruddin that if Betty is to make any progress in terms of weight loss, it has to be a couple journey due to her anchorage to Josh. If there had been any progress, it would only come from them maturing as a couple, and what they needed was intensive counseling and therapy sessions to help them grow out of the dependency syndrome they've developed. The counseling sessions the couple starts receiving has not only helped Betty in overcoming the reasons for her food fixation, it has also brought Josh along a journey of self-discovery and maturation, which has benefited him greatly. As she gets closer to 700 pounds, her husband is worried she would end their marriage if she achieved her goal. They work together in therapy to address those fears, and she ends up losing 200 pounds through a combination of surgery, diet, and exercise, making her a true star in her own right.
Oh, you haven't lost any weight. What's going on with that? You need to be straightforward about your eating habit outside of...
How am I supposed to do that when my husband doesn't want to do it with me? I'm not getting no support from him at all. I can't do this with...
Number 5. Destiny Lachey. Destiny Lachey was born Matthew Ventures and raised in foster care before appearing on Season 7 of My 600 Pound Life in 2019. Destiny had never felt like she'd fit into the roles imposed on her by society. She came out as a 600-pound transgender woman in love with her curves. It's obvious she is proud of her she-man credentials and her big, beautiful body, but she's paying a high price for those curves, and it's clear that she has to say goodbye to them soon. She weighed 699 pounds when she started on the show, and makes it clear that she realizes she's running out of time.
You gonna come or no?
All my depression and pain at this point. And food is the only thing I have. Feel it killing me. I know there's just no way I'm gonna survive for a lot longer.
Destiny even admits trying to take her own life. Her trauma at her brother Anthony's passing in Destiny's arms due to an aneurysm caused by a blood clot following a minor surgery is hard to recover from. She eventually enters a mental facility for a couple of weeks until the doctors are confident that Destiny isn't going to self-harm again. Destiny is open about living with depression after that heartbreaking incident. She attends therapy at Dr. Now's suggestion, and Dr. Now approves her for a gastric sleeve procedure. At the end of her My 600 Pound Life episode, Destiny has lost 229 pounds, weighing 440 pounds. Unfortunately, she passed away. Destiny was an inspiration to viewers. Through her brave mental health and weight loss journey, fans saw her as a source of strength. She will always be remembered for living her truth and attempting to achieve her goals despite great challenges. Number 4. LaTanya Patain. My 600 Pound Life Season 11 brought us LaTanya Patain, a memorable character who was hard to miss or be forgotten. Her weight loss journey on the show ends with Dr. Yunnan Nazaruddin telling her that there's nothing that he could do for her because she wouldn't comply with his program. When the episode begins, LaTanya, a 37-year-old from Shreveport, Louisiana, is 632 pounds. She reveals that she met with Dr. Now 5 years before, but didn't follow through with his program.
I have to make some changes. So he wanted me to lose 40 pounds. My legs look like an apple.
Okay.
But baby, I'm okay.
I am proud of LaTanya and how
Bed. Because I usually be in my chair, but about me being in pain today. In the bed. So the bed.
During her time on My 600 Pound Life Season 11, this time around, LaTanya has a support system consisting of her fiancé Dwayne, her nephew Adrian, and her caretaker Virgie. However, each time she meets with Dr. Now, she's gained weight rather than losing the required pounds to qualify for weight loss surgery. The only time she slims down during the episode is when Dr. Now hospitalizes her due to a dangerous heart issue and puts her on a controlled diet. Dr. Now tells her she has to lose 60 pounds at home or he would no longer work with her. So what pushed LaTanya into the deceptive yet loving bosom of food? As related by her, after her mom died when she was just a kid, LaTanya had a tough childhood where she felt neglected and abused.
And this look like dog food.
You don't like meat?
I don't eat stuff like this.
This-
I don't eat that kind of meat. I haven't really ate nothing since I've been here.
You're not gonna fade away what you consider to be a healthy food.
Yes, sir.
We got your heart out of a critical place because there's something wrong with your eating habit that you're not losing weight.
Her weight became concerning when she was just a preteen, and to a young and lonely LaTanya, food was the only thing comforting for her, so she continued to overeat. As an adult, she's come to the point where she relies heavily on her caretaker and fiancé to cater to her needs as she spends most of her time in bed, unable to walk. Unfortunately, her lack of discipline results in her continuing to gain weight instead of losing it. As a result, she's denied bariatric surgery. LaTanya's episode ends with her attempting to restart Dr. Now's program.
Healthy for so long, and like now, trying to change it is kind of.
Help you start getting out of your chair. And you didn't do that. And you were supposed to lose 40 pounds or as wheelchair. You don't want to give that up. You don't want to give up your eating habit. But you didn't follow the diet. You keep eating too much and you want to admit it. And so much to yourself you believe that you lie.
Number 3. Brittany Fulfer. Former My 600 Pound Life star Brittany Fulfer began her weight loss journey 2 years ago when she weighed 605 pounds. During her 2016 episode of the hit TLC show, the 32-year-old revealed that she was carnally maltreated as a child, which caused her weight to spiral out of control.
Food non-stop, from the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed. Never a time when food wasn't the most important thing to me.
To cope, Brittany turned to food, and since then, she admits to sitting on the couch for up to 8 hours a day and confesses that on her worst day, she consumes more than 35,000 calories. She says showering is the most exhausting part of the day, and that regardless, she still feels like she stinks. Overwhelmed by her depression and sheer amount of self-disgust that she feels for herself, Brittany's spirits are at an all-time low, and she appears to be the complete antithesis of her bubbly personality. Her marriage seems to be struggling under the pressure of her weight as she reveals that she and her husband Bill haven't gone out to eat in 6 years. However, with the help of surgeon Dr. Yunnan Nazaruddin as well as a therapist, the Oregon native manages to shed over 230 pounds in a year, turning into a success story.
It's like night and day. Like, I'm a completely different person. It's amazing.
That's great. Okay, okay, well, let me get you stand up and see how it looked like.
Yeah, see, so, I mean, like that.
For you to walk with that, and that's going to keep holding you back. Approval for skin surgery.
No problem.
But be careful, because traveling in extended period and gain any weight, it'll be fine to do her skin removal surgery after she returned from traveling.
Number 2, Shanae Murray. At nearly 700 pounds, Shanae Murray has struggled with her weight since she was a child. But Murray decided to change her life for the better by seeking the help of Dr. Yunnan Nazaruddin after she suffered 2 miscarriages. With her husband Freddie taking care of her, Shanae wants to lose weight so she can potentially save her marriage and become pregnant. As a child, Shanae didn't have a close relationship with her father. Since her dad always worked, instead of being a daddy's little girl, she was always a mama's girl. Shanae started to put on weight after she was chronically maltreated by a family member when she was 5 years old. After that, she started overeating to cope with the emotional upheaval. By the age of 7, Shanae weighed 130 pounds. This trend continued well into her adulthood as Shanae continued to gain weight, eventually ending up at Dr. Now's, where she continues to cause upheaval.
Shanae, let's talk about where you're at.
Okay, first off, I want to apologize to you. And I'm apologizing because I feel like that I offended.
We're giving you all the help and resources you need. And we even help you to get you. I can give you any more tools that I have given you right now. And this is all up to you.
After multiple chances to change her diet and lose weight over 5 months, Murray failed to lose a single pound on her own, as Dr. Nazaruddin says, and she quits the show and blocks his calls. Number 1, Siobhan. 37-year-old Siobhan comes from Atlanta, Georgia. Always bulky, Siobhan had spent her entire youth storing a trunk load of mass onto her body, and finally, now that she's reached adulthood, her body is near to giving out under the pressure it's always been. The effects of poor life choices have finally caught up to her, and she's left nearing middle age with a body which far exceeds the physique of a century-old person. Unable to stand for more than a minute or 5 at the most each day, she dreams of losing weight and tries to move her body in accordance with her wish. But what she finds at the other end is extreme pain at the hands of the load she's carrying instead of cooperation. She always had big plans for when she grew up, dreaming of becoming a DJ, but those dreams have been squashed under the weight of her food indulgence. Growing up, her family had been a food-loving one, with each family meal a cause for celebration. Coupled with the fact that her mother was a spectacular cook, there was always a reason to eat to heart's content, and the boisterous family atmosphere was the perfect companion to the eating. Siobhan's first and most traumatic brush with sorrow came when her parents split up, and that's the turning point that she can remember when her love for food turned into an obsession.
You've had a lot of loss, a lot of death.
Yeah, I have. It was like, it just felt like it happened so fast, but I just realized that I felt heavier.
You still struggle with emotionally about your mother's passing.
I think about her daily.
As she grew up, her appetite for food increased and her bulk with it. Losing both her parents and grandparents set Siobhan on a path of destruction, and she started piling on the weight truly. Her present circumstances have forced her to seek out Dr. Proctor's guidance. Firmly set on her path to weight loss, she's been referred to a psychologist, Stephen Ritz, who's been working with her to give her the emotional strength to stop using food as a crutch.
You know, it was easier for me to put things into perspective of how I'm gonna deal.
Prior to surgery, the goal here is to go in the right direction, begin that lifestyle change, and we'll start.
Oh, great, like.
Did you wear your light glasses today?
Yeah.
617.2. Good job.
Okay.
All right, good job.
I barely meant to go. Did it, I made it. So this means surgery is...
Surgery's on.
Yes!
She's eventually cleared for surgery, but just one day before, as a last hurrah to her foodie life, she's indulging in a food gorgeous paradise. Despite that little setback, she goes on to shed over 200 pounds. Well guys, that about does it for this video. Join us next time, and bye for now.